Stan! Here we are, second video of the day. Now back in civilian uniform, civilian clothes, and Merry Christmas. No, Merry Christmas. Cheers, all the best. Hard, isn't it, when you work all week? And really, these next couple of hours are the only two I get to myself. I've got the cats to look after. They're on leads, I've explained before. It's get them out and about so they don't escape. That's basically it, so they don't get run over. That's just my opinion. It's happened before, but it can be quite stressful. One of them's in here now. They get tangled around stuff. The other one's over there. They're crying to be out. Anyway, you don't need to know that. So, what's next? What's today? Right, well, I'll do this one first. If you give me a minute. I bought this a few months back. Autopsy of Battle, Operation Dragoon by Jean-Loup Gassend, and he is the fella who runs the Crocodile YouTube channel that you might have seen, where he does a lot of investigation into how people died. He's been on archaeological digs, German and Russian soldiers wounded, and also researches a lot of artifacts and battles. A lot of the stuff he's done on YouTube is in here. And what a great book this is. As you can see, it's a mighty tome. It is a big book to read. It took me a while to read it because sort of lay in bed after I do my reading, you're like, woof. So what I did was I read it half and then I cut off to another book and went back to it. I just finished it this week. And it's very well made, very well presented. It's very hard to show you. See, a lot of the stuff he's done in here, it's on his YouTube channel. But it is mainly concerned only with Operation Dragoon or Operation Anvil, and the invasion by mainly the Americans, the French operation invasion of southern France in August 1944. Now, the connection for me is it's about 50 quid, I think. It doesn't say. There's the ISBN number if you wanna buy it. 21 years ago, me and Mrs. Stan did a tour, and this is the original roadmap that we used. I've just highlighted the numbers again. So day one, we were, sorry, put my glasses on Antibes. Day two, Cannes. Nice, Cannes. Nice, Antibes, Cannes, Castellana, then Cambronne. Then number 5 we went to Chamonix in the Alps, then Geneva, Lausanne. We came all the way back down through Italy to Savona, then San Remo, Monaco for a couple of days. Nice. We did go to Menton as well, and a lot of these, Draguignan is where a lot of the action took place, but it did take place here as well. So all this this book is concentrating on an area that I went to. Well, Stan, you being such a military type that likes military history, why didn't you know about it at the time? Well, I've always been a reader of military history. I think we tend to forget that only 20 years ago, you know, when you sort of get your own house, your own place, you don't live with your parents anymore, and you start collecting stuff, you're collecting books. Really, the only place, I'll say the only place, I might be wrong, but books seem to be more expensive years ago than they are now. And you know, I'd go to the decent bookshops. Were charity shops a thing then? I can't remember, but there seems to be more choice now for cheap books to get on subjects. You were limited. The internet, obviously 20 odd years ago, wasn't the place it is now, research wise. And I made a point today of rewatching episode 19 of The World at War, simply because that is the episode that deals with the Operation Dragoon, somewhat, not much. It calls it Operation Anvil. When I looked it up on Wikipedia, it said Operation Anvil. Operation Dragoon was Anvil, so I don't know why they changed it or when it changed, because it seems to be in 1973 and they made The World at War. It was Anvil. And in The World at War, was it Winfred Vaughan Thomas, is he a poet, but very posh spoken fellow? He says, I landed on the beach, and the mayor came down with the glasses of champagne, and after that it was always called the Champagne Campaign. So that stuck in my mind. Now, there were thousands and thousands of casualties, not as much as the Normandy campaign, but still, it was no champagne campaign for the soldiers involved. You know, there's tales in this book of the Germans hanging people from the lampposts, doing all the things that they did elsewhere. Resistance people being shot, resistance people shooting the Germans, innocent civilians and children being killed. The Germans booby-trapping mines, booby-trapping the roads and stuff like that, of actions that took place. I can't really go through the book individually to show you that, but it's definitely well worth a read. And what he does very well, I think, is say there's an action, an ambush or a battle. Neighbours. Historical content going on here. There's an action. He gives it from the point of view of all the combatants. So if it's the Americans, if there's resistance people there, civilians and Germans. And quite often he says that Americans claim they killed 4 Germans. And the Volksbund, who were responsible for reburying people and taking the records after the war, the Germans, that never happened. There wasn't 4 guys killed there. And some of the bodies disappeared, never found again. Because of the climate, a body could be reduced to skeletal remains quite quickly. And if I can find a picture of one, I mean, so definitely one of the Americans was left. His body was left. There you go. Left for a year before they picked his body up. So you see that photograph there, without the shine. So that's skeletal remains. A dead German soldier discovered by troopers. To put me reading glasses on. God, terrible. I'm getting worse as well. The eyesight's getting worse. No, it doesn't say. A few weeks is sufficient for a body to become partially skeletalized like this. So there you go. So I'm not going to go on too much about it, but that is Jean-Loup Gassend of Crocodile to Your Fame, Autopsy of Battle, Operation Dragoon, and I can highly, still not stand, recommend it. Now, whilst I'm on, I may as well do a little video about binoculars, because we all know what I like about. Cat check. Cat. Yeah, right. One of them has a habit of trying to escape, like jumping up with his harness attached, like a paratrooper. Follow Jimmy Hager cat. Right, yeah. So yesterday, me and Mrs. Stan were at a funeral of a neighbour who lived just over there, near next door to my uncle actually, or next door one. And he was an old guy, not really that old, but he was in his 70s, and he used to get old bins in. Nice fella, really nice fella. And I had the pleasure of him coming in here once, 2 years ago possibly, and he was really impressed with this. Ex-serviceman himself. He'd been in Aden with the RAF in the 1960s, and he said it was the only time he was fired upon in action and he had to return fire. He said he just stuck in. It did a bit like that, it wasn't, but a nice bloke. And consequently, we went to the local club just across the road. Many of these. And I came home and I'd been watching a pair of World War II Canadian naval binoculars on eBay. And I bought them. I don't need them. I've got 2 or 3 pairs of naval. I don't need them. But I did, because that's the type of person I am. So, what I did buy a couple of weeks ago, watching that cat, the cheapest pair of binoculars I've ever bought, £7 off eBay, free postage. Cadet. Can't find anything else out of them. Cadet binoculars. It's got a serial number, 8x30, and it is Empire made. So that could be mean. Obviously, anywhere in the old Empire. The box was a bit, how you going? I did put some tape on. I know, but I'm not going to go through the whole rigmarole of cutting little bits of paper and gluing it in place just for a pair of these, because they're not worth it. And I was going to chuck the cardboard away because I thought that was inside. This vendor had packed it, but when I started to crumple it up, it started making a funny noise, because this is really old cardboard. Just watching that cat, and in there, so I'll take the cardboard. It really stinks. It smells like old tobacco and garages. Oh, 2 seconds. 2 seconds. I have to pause the camera. Cat boundary pushing. God. So there's the instructions. What to know about binoculars. And here are the binoculars. Little caps. One cap there, one's missing. I have cleaned them up. But these are, they only good going for them. It's got a leather strap. They are not the greatest. I don't know. I just bought them out of curiosity. So there you go. Cadet binoculars. I don't know what I'm going to do with them. They probably need the hairdryer treatment on the grease, central focus and wheel, and I could take them apart a bit more. I don't know how they come off, probably just pop off. But cadet binoculars, anybody know anything about them, they're probably aimed more at your pseudo-military type of thing. I mean, I'll just go back, because I forgot to mention the other binoculars, which are called Eric Connick. Don't even know what they're called. Yeah, hang on a minute. Unorganised crap as always, and still stands man kid. Carl Connick. Now they're probably, the ones I've just been showing you up there. They could be just a German sounding name. They did that after the war. Carl Zeiss. Everyone wants a pair of Carl Zeiss. Does everyone want a pair of Carl Connicks? It could be just something made in the Far East, China, Japan, with the Germans in the name, because they used to do that to cash in on the market. So that is me talking for nearly 11 minutes, and these cats are really starting to get the freak of me out. One sat there just minding his own business, the other one, yeah, right, I better go and sort it out. So this is Stan, and I will, of course. See ya.